So for this evening, I decided to speak on a subject that sometimes we kind of disregard, and it is one of the things that it is very important for the Christian life. Maybe it goes unnoticed, and maybe sometimes it is noticed, but it's sort of disregarded. But I wanted to touch on it a little bit, and especially since we have the new church building behind us, we're getting to the closing stages, and to have a building like that one, it is always good to maintain in a good state. And so if we read again the memory text that is found in 1 Corinthians 14:40, I thought that this would be a very interesting subject to talk. Let all things be done decently and in order. And since we're getting close to inauguration of the building, I thought, how should we maintain the building, or how should we deal with all the things that we have there, or we will have there? And I believe that the answer to this question not only applies to the building that is being built, or the church, but also to our homes, to our work, to our cars, or the things that we have daily use of. And how does that impact our life as Christians? So how does that have to do with maintaining a building decently and in order? What does that have to do with my personal life? What does that have to do with me? So let me put this in a better way. How would you react to when you have some tax issues? Let's just say you need to go to an accountant. How would you react if you go to his office and you see his table full of papers, the trash is full, the secretary is all mess on the table, and then he's looking for your papers in the whole mess? Do you think he's doing a great job? Do you think he will correctly calculate your taxes? Will you trust him? I will have a hard time even believing what he's saying, if it's true or not. I don't know if that's a good thing to be. Or example, a lawyer. If you have an issue, a legal issue, and then you go to an office of the lawyer and you have all of the mess, there's a lot of voicemails on the phone. How do you think he's going to deal in court with the judge? Can you trust him to take you to stay in court with you, or any other legal issues? So this not only applies to maintaining a building, but also personal life and how we deal with ourselves at home and at work. So we should be organized, clean, and tidy. And why do you think so? Well, if you read in 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 33, 1 Corinthians 14, verse 33, it says that for God is not the author of confusion, but of peace. So would you think that in such a place where there's such confusion, do you think is there peace? Do you think something's done right? I just want you to think about that for a little bit. And so if we aspire to be like Christ, if we aspire for our character to be like him, in his likeness, if we aspire to reach heaven, we cannot on this earth disregard the maintaining of ourselves in being organized in cleanliness and tidiness. And why, you may ask? Again, Adventist Home, page 254, paragraph 2. It says their order and cleanliness is the law of heaven, and in order to come into harmony with the divine arrangement, it is our duty to be neat. So, in order and cleanliness is the law of heaven. So if in heaven there is order and cleanliness and tidiness, if we are not used to it here on earth, if we do not at least attempt to be in such a way, how do you think are we going to be in heaven? Do you think it has been an easy time? Do you think God allows maybe disorganization, or do you think the angels will be present? If we so desire to reach heaven, we need to start practicing these little things. Maybe for some of us maybe easier, for some of us maybe harder, but all of us need to start practicing this organization and cleanliness here on earth. As we go in heaven, it'll be much easier for us. Counsels for the Church, page 219. It reads there, Truth never places her delicate feet in a path of uncleanness or impurity. He who was so particular that the children of Israel should cherish habits of cleanliness will not sanction any impurity in the homes of his people today. God looks with disfavor on uncleanness of any kind. So again, this is a subject that sometimes can be very touchy. Um, there's someone may say, "Oh, this certain personalities don't match with this," but as we see here, God's children are supposed to follow His character. His character is love, and as we see here, He has purity, and it says here that He will not sanction any impurity in the homes of His people today. He looks with disfavor on uncleanness of any kind. So not literally material cleanness, but also spiritually and mentally. So that is also very important. And God gave instructions to his people in the desert while they were traveling to the land of Canaan to maintain order and cleanliness, a place where water was scarce, there was no electricity, there was no vacuums to vacuum the dust of the sand in the desert. So how much can we accomplish today when we have water? We have warm water in the winter. It is very easy to clean. We have vacuums. We have all these tools. We have websites to help us give ideas on keeping things organized, how to clean stuff. So for us, it's much easier, but there's still a lot more. We should keep all of this in mind. Coming to a new church, that we maintain in a good, respectful way. Because when a place is clean, when you maintain organized, you feel the sense of respect, of reverence, and that is the way that a church should be treated. Not only in the church, but our homes, maybe our cars, our work, wherever we may do. So the sanctuary that we had in the desert, it was a copy, it was a shadow from the one in heaven. If you read Hebrews chapter 8, verse 5, the first part it reads there, who serve unto the example and shadow of heavenly things, as Moses was admonished of God when he was about to make the tabernacle. So as you know, when God was giving the instructions to Moses, he had various measurements, very specific way to do things, how to treat those things, and all the reference that was needed in building that tabernacle. And I just want to bring that to our day today in how we deal with our work and our things we do. And it's very interesting to notice that the shadow of a tabernacle from heaven, God will not be disorganized. He's very organized and clean. And nothing was disproportionate, nothing was done with laziness or regard to the work, to steps or instructions. So Moses was tasked with a very important duty. And we may take it lightly, but this was very, very important. We can also see this in the building of the Temple of Solomon. At the time that we was to be blessed and given to the Lord, if you read 1 Chronicles chapter 6, verse 32, it says, and they ministered before the dwelling place of the tabernacle of the congregation with singing until Solomon had built the house of the Lord in Jerusalem. And then they waited on their office according to their order. So as we see here, it was not something a group of people just came and said, okay, it's done, let's just gather some people around, let's just sing and praise the Lord for it. It was very specific steps. There were organization, there was order. So the same thing that we come to church and we show our actions, it should be with order and reverence as we do in coming to church and fellowship with our members. And not only in the church, but also our personal lives. I just wanted to read a part of the book, This Day with God, of meditation. And I found it that is very, very important for us. And this will be one of the closing statements. It is a daily devotion. I just want you to really think about it. And as I read here, that think about the things that we're doing and how we should deal with ourselves. It is in This Day with God, page 331. It says there, God is not glorified by those whom he has called out of darkness into his marvelous light, being untidy, careless, and slovenly. We want to copy the heavenly pattern as far as order and neatness are concerned. And if heaven is desirable and attractive, I want that my premises shall be attractive in their simplicity and order. We all need to consider that thoroughness, neatness, and order should prevail among those who love and fear God, for in this we are recommending our faith. So, as he's saying here, the way we deal with ourselves, the way we carry our actions, the way we maintain the things, it will show how our faith is. He continues reading, we are making an impression upon the beholders. Our connection with God will increase our desire to be cleanly in our houses and about our premises. Fruit trees, ornamental trees, and flowers cultivated about our dwellings pay in more ways than one. The Lord is a lover of the beautiful, for he has made the lofty trees, the sparrows of grass, the beautiful shrubs, the delicate flowers, and all these have a softening, subduing influence upon the beholder. And as their senses are charmed, they are involuntarily drawn from nature to nature's God. If the Lord is mindful of us in giving us this expression of his love, in the variety of beautiful flowers growing in their natural loveliness, shall we not be grateful to him? Shall we not do just as Jesus told us to do? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say unto you, that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. So here the Lord contrasts the artificial with the natural. I expend wisely some means to have God's precious things in my sight, and to have everything healthful above my premises. I do this that all may see we do not, because of our faith, descend to commonness and become lax and loose and untidy. Let all see that, because you believe the Lord is coming, you are preparing for a pure and holy heaven by being pure and cleanly and holy here. Then you will be at home when called to the holy mansions above. So it is my wish and hope that we may take a deeper look into how we're living our lives in regard to this aspect of being organized and tidy and cleanliness, as this is something that it is very clearly seen by those who behold us, as is mentioned here, that my hope is that others may see Christ in our purity, in our character, and that we may have a little taste of heaven here on earth while we still wait for his second coming. Amen.